Welcome to another episode of COMM Pares, Conversation That Matter. Once again, I am Emmanuel Gonzalez, your host. Today, we are going to talk about a topic that couldn't be more relevant in today's digital age. And to help us explore this topic, we are accompanied by Cam Olarte, a media practitioner from St. Louis University. Hi, Cam.
Hello, Manu. It is nice to be here.
It's nice to meet you also. So, let's go on our first topic. So, what is digital literacy and disinformation? Can you explain this to us, especially to our viewers?
Well, first off, digital literacy, I think, would be the ability to use technology effectively and responsibly to
Yes.
find, evaluate, create, and communicate certain types of information. And I think that's
Hmm.
really important in today's world wherein
Yes.
information is literally everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. And moving on to disinformation, that would be
Hmm.
false information that is intended.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a very important
Exactly.
keyword. Intended to mislead, and it could also be
Hmm.
propaganda issued by a government organization or just really any type of powerful information to a rival power or just in general the media.
Hmm. Exactly, especially in the Philippines, that a majority of, like, especially in government or like in
Mm,
news, there are a lot of disinformation and false information that we saw on social media. So, it's very alarming that a lot of people really believes in this type of false information
yeah.
nowadays. So, let's also talk about how big is the role of AI in digital literacy and disinformation.
I think it's going to be massive. Like, I'm not
Wow.
just talking about like a very big change, like uh it's going to be a global scale. I think
Global
this
scale.
will just this will shake foundations of what we know so far, especially
Mm-hmm.
how much more advanced AI is becoming every single day.
Yes.
A very steadfast or like really important a really significant example of this that we have in the Philippines today, which I think you might be familiar
Mm-hmm.
with. Like, are you familiar with the recent issue with one of our senators, Pato de la Rosa?
Yes, yes, of course, of course.
Yeah, like he has been misled by a very concerning AI video of a seemingly
Mm-hmm.
normal Filipino person
Yes.
that is talking about a political stance or political view, which is which can tend
Yes.
to be very convincing to a lot of people, especially since this is AI we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about. It has all the information, it has everything it needs to say, and a lot of people, including a senator, which is already at like up there, it's already at
Mm-hmm.
in the highest levels of government, and I think that's really alarming. Wouldn't you agree? Like, it's something. It's
Yes,
it's
exactly.
scary to think about.
Yes, exactly. Especially that we all know that Bato del Rosa is a very popular or like a big figure, especially on to other like old Filipinos who really support him. And supporting a AI video is really a bad publicity. And you know you're in the Philippines that
But it's publicity, like I guess
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it
Yeah,
did its
exactly.
job, but it's just bad.
Hmm. So, Kim, let's talk about, or let's dig deeper on how can we combat the rise of AI, especially in social media, and the leading to disinformation.
Okay, so right off the bat, I can think of four
Mm-hmm.
ways, two of which I
Yes.
think is the more basic stuff that basically anybody should do, regardless of what sort of field or what sort of social status or wherever they may be, and that is fact checking
Mm-hmm.
and critical thinking.
Yes.
These two, very important, no matter what you're doing, whether it be on the media, whether it be online, whether it be in person. I think it's
Yes.
something that needs to be
Exactly.
fostered more. And the other
Mm-hmm.
two, that would be the development of AI detection tools, which I think is used largely not just by students but also by instructors nowadays. Do you have any such
Mm-hmm.
instructors who use those kinds of tools?
Yes, we have Dr. Janet Ibaldo, who always reminds his students, her students, that to use the AI detecting app, especially on researches papers or like even just
Yeah.
like reading on certain blogs on websites.
Yeah, and that's great. That is something that should be fostered more and more. And the
Hmm.
fourth way that I can think of, adding to that, is promoting ethical AI use and regulations, which I think could
Yes.
be embedded very well into our educational system and curriculum.
Hmm.
And it will very much help uh, our students from a very young age, from the grassroots level, to just really
Yes.
understand how AI can be misused or abused and
Hmm.
really just be dangerous. So, we got to start somewhere. And I think just embedding it into our educational institutions and curriculums is a step in the good direction.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Cam, for sharing your thoughts and explaining to us about the digital literacy and disinformation. And that's it, folks, for today's episode of Compares, a conversation that mattered. I hope that everyone has learned a lot about the digital literacy and disinformation, especially in the modern context, where AI is one of the leading causes of the decline of digital literacy and an increase on in this information. Tune in next week when we will be talking about mental health in the digital era.